passion. Mo's offers professional bereavement cleaning handled with dignity, respect, and care. This is only a small list of what we can do. So why wait? Don't delay. Call Mo's today. Mo's Cleaning Service, where cleaning meets care.
The sales team of the Glory WDDO 980 AM is waiting to make your business, your church, your ministry part of the Glory family. Let us advertise for you. Call the sales team today at 678-800-3976. Let's make this happen with 980 AM WDDO, the Glory.
Tune in daily and be educated, entertained, inspired, and encouraged by our daily talk show right here on WDDO 107.9 FM and 980 AM. It's a public invitation for everyone to turn into the flow of WDDO.
Oh, put your hands together. I got a little song I want to encourage you. Listen, I got a feeling everything's gonna be all right. Oh, I got a feeling it's gonna be all right. I got a feeling everything will be all right. It's gonna be all right. Be all right. Can I get one witness? Be all right. That know it will. Be all right. It's gonna be all right. Be all right. Everything's gonna be all right. I think I want to say it again. Ooh, yeah. I got a feeling everything's gonna be all right. Oh, I got a feeling. Oh, I got a feeling everything gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. Be all right. Na 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 na. Be all right. I know we will. Everything's gonna be alright. I gotta say it one more time for me. Oh, I got a feeling everything's gonna be alright. Oh, I got a feeling. Oh, I got a feeling everything gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright. Be alright. Trust him and believe it. Be alright. Turn it over to Jesus. It's gonna be all right. I know everything gonna be all right. Can I get a witness? Be all right. I know it will be all right. I tried the man. Be all right. I know it's gonna be all right. No more sickness, it will. No more trouble, it will. No more heartaches, it will. Give it to him. It's gonna be all right. Try. I know everything will be all right. I don't care what you're going through. I know it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. Be all right. Be all right. Be all right. I know it will. Be all right. It's gonna be all right. Be all right. Can I get one witness? Be all right. That don't mind telling your neighbor. Be all right. Oh, I know everything's gonna be all right. Can I get a witness? Be all right. I know it will. Be all right. You ought to encourage somebody. Be all right. It's gonna be all right. Be all right.
Connecting the community through gospel.
The new 107.9 FM, W300EB,
Macon and WDDO 980 AM
Perry.
Macon.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
Welcome to the Issues of Life broadcast with your host, Evelyn Reid. This show will address health, religious, and political issues that our communities face daily. Let's go live into the studio with your host, Evelyn Reid, for the Issues of Life broadcast, right here on the Glory 107.9 FM, 980 AM, WDDO.
Well, good afternoon once again. No, I'm not Evelyn Reid. I'm Jonathan McCollum, and I will be your host this afternoon. And I have with me today Pastor Warren Hamilton.
How you doing?
White, what is it? White Bristol Baptist? What is it?
White Springs.
White Springs Baptist Church, Lizella, Georgia. And today we believe we have a compelling topic. Today we have, I believe we have, you're accustomed to hearing Reverend Donald Reid. He's out today, and his adorable wife. She's not with us today, but we're going to carry on. We believe we have a very interesting topic, and we would invite you to join us also to be a part of this discussion today. And if you'd like to be a part of the discussion, feel free to join us. And the number is 478-250-1444. Again, that's 478-250-1444. And I would hope as I entered this afternoon, I noticed that I saw the temperature rising on the thermostat. I saw 101 degrees. Pastor, I don't know about you, but it's pretty warm outside. So be careful out there.
Yes, it's very hot, but people complaining about the heat. But I know two places that's hotter. One's on the earth here in a place called Dong Ha, Vietnam, and the other place is called hell.
Amen. And we want to do the best we can to prevent anybody from the latter. Anyway, hey, look, this is what we're going to talk about this afternoon. We're a very compelling and interesting topic, but very broad. Today we're going to ask a question. And that question is the United States of America the greatest nation in the world? And is it in fact a great nation? We've heard a lot of good things about the United States from the citizens, but we've also heard a lot of not so good things about the United States. And so today we want to throw this topic out to all the listeners, and we, as I indicated, we invite you to participate. Is the United States all that we hear people talking about, or is it a place that we would not want to invite other people to come to be a part of this journey? From my perspective, I'll start right up front and say that I believe, as a result of my service in the military, and also I believe Reverend Hamilton has also served in the military, as a result of my service and among some of the other fundamental and core beliefs, I believe that this is the greatest nation in the world. I believe that we do have some issues like any other country, any other nations. But today, if we look at the problem just a little bit more, dig down a little bit deeper, we've heard a lot of people talk about socialism and the rise of communism in the United States among those people who are running for office. And we've also heard other things about the United States where people are not happy. Some say they would like to leave, although they made the statements, they haven't gone anywhere. Maybe a couple have just gone on a long-term vacation. But I would tell them they'll be back. And I will tell you, after living and traveling in 13 other countries, I believe that you will not find a better place to live in the United States of America. So let's start right there. Reverend Hamilton, what do you think? The United States of America, as it's said, it's one of the youngest nations in the world, 250 years old. Is the United States all that? Is it all a bag of chips, or is it just is it a nation that's not going anywhere, that doesn't care about its citizens? What is the United States?
I concur with you. You said you believe it is the greatest nation in the world. I believe that. I know that for a fact. Like you said, a lot of people go on vacations and they over a week, month, whatever. But when you go outside the United States for a length of time, 6 months to a year, maybe longer, you realize that America, United States, is the greatest nation on earth. We have our faults now, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, we do.
We do. And like I said, you wouldn't have probably agreed with you and I the listeners would, because we have some problems and it's not perfect. I don't know anything in this country or anything that's perfect.
I agree.
So that's where I believe a lot of people looking for a perfect nation. There isn't anyone.
Yeah, there is no such. And along those lines, I would say that our nation does have some stains in its past, but like anything else, I believe that there are stains, but I believe that we have something called the amendments to the Constitution that have corrected some of the stains in the past. An example. We have the First Amendment. We have the First Amendment that gives us all these unique rights. We can say whatever we want to say for the most part, as long as we don't do anything that's damaging to somebody else in a sense or harmful. We can. You have the right to. Those who are in the media have the right to the freedom of press to say what they choose to say, even if it's not true. They can still say it, and we have the right to practice any religion we so desire, as long as that religion does not infringe upon anybody else's or upon the laws and the rules of the United States of America that's consistent with our rules and laws, our laws, etc. And we have the Second Amendment, that the right to bear arms, and then we have the others, the 13th Amendment that gave freedom, that abolished slavery in the United States, in the 15th Amendment, the 14th Amendment, the right of citizenship and vote, and we have these rights. So with all these, I believe that we made some corrections, but I do believe we have some difficult things that we still have to endure in the United States. But with all that's done and all that's taken place, I do believe that you will not find a system that gives the individual the right to pursue whatever you so desire. Doesn't mean that you're going to perhaps gain everything that you want, but at least the table is set. Would you say that everybody has the right to do or pursue whatever they so desire? Is that a fault? Is that false, or is there some fact in that?
I'm not going to sit here and say everybody,
Okay.
because we've been shown, history has shown us that everybody doesn't have that right. You know, sometimes if we live according to the Constitution and obey the Constitution, you know, I think it would be. But let me go biblically for a second.
Okay.
The Ten Commandments. The Ten Commandments was just to show the Israelites and give them some kind of idea of what's wrong and what's right. You agree?
Okay.
But the Bible said it won't save you. How can you be saved? Through Jesus Christ alone. So Constitution, same way. If we gonna live by the Constitution and then don't apply some love in the Constitution,
Right.
and some
grace,
and be fair about it, then it's not going to work.
Right.
So I'm saying that United States is a great nation, most wonderful nation. Because I've been outside the country for a long time, and I came back in, and I made a promise to my parents and to my children, if I had anything to do with it, Warren's not going back out of the country anymore.
That's
Because
right.
I realized and I saw how people live outside the United States.
I you know what, I agree with you. I can tell you I've had a couple of deployments, and I deployed in the Middle East. As a matter of fact, both my deployments are in the Middle East, and I would tell you that the land and living in the Middle East is very different. The rules and the laws are very different. And I would tell you that people live differently and don't have the very same rights, and the state has the ability to punish. The punishment can be so severe and so quick. In the United States, you have the right to legal representation, and no one can accuse you of a crime today and then have the electric chair tomorrow. That's not going to take place in the United States. You're going to go through a process, and I've seen that outside of the United States. Those things that are inconsistent with our way of living. And I believe that, and I'd love to hear from someone out there who believes that we don't, or that we do, or chime in for those who know that this place, the United States, that God has set aside the United States to be a good nation, and that's why our laws are based on Judeo-Christian principles, and that we have mutual respect one for the other, but we do recognize God as being supreme, as in the Declaration of Independence, we recognize Him as the Creator, and that all of our rights come from Him. And as a result, I believe that we're set up for success. I understand that some may be disappointed that in times past that some may have our forefathers perhaps may not have had the same freedoms that they were told that they had but weren't given. But now, I believe that for the most part today, that through your efforts, individual efforts, I believe that you can pretty much do whatever you want to do. You just got to believe it, and you just got to take off, and you got to pursue it. What do you think, Reverend?
Well, I think same, because here again, the question was, is the United States a great nation? Mm-hmm. Yes, and I believe we could be greater and better if we just had a little more Jesus.
I think so.
You know, I can remember when I was in school as an elementary student, first thing we did was pray. Mm-hmm. Our Father, who art in heaven. Then we do the marriage allegiance to the flag. Mm-hmm. Now, whoever, I don't know what circumstances, came up with the idea of taking prayer out of school. Mm-hmm. To me, I looked at it, they're taking Christ out of school. Mm-hmm. Taking God out of school. And it looks like to me now, I think I could be wrong, because you got these social media platforms now. You can see things when it happens and everything that happens. Well, I believe when we took prayer out of school, we took Christ out of schools. Mm-hmm. And that's why we're having these shootings in school. That's why our students and our children are going astray. I mean, I just don't understand, why do the federal government have the right to tell me my children can't say the Lord's, pray in school?
Well, I'll tell you what, the one thing we do know, it's you can't stop a child of God from praying.
Yes.
But when you set the course to say that no one can pray as a result of someone being left out or for whatever the reason, choosing to find an alternative, you understand, whenever we take something out that's good, it's going to probably be replaced with something not so good. And that's what's happened in our schools. Now, we were set up, I think our principles are good. The way the Constitution is set up, I think it's good.
I do too. But what was the reason? I mean, here we've been doing this for, I don't know exactly how long. I don't have the numbers or the data to support what I'm saying right now. But but I realized that it was going on a long time. So who said, well, we can't do this because we're offending somebody?
Right. That's what I believe. I believe that when good people are quiet, then people who want to interrupt the things that we know that are good take place, because there are enough people who know better but won't take the stand. And when there are a lot of people who are against all of those good things that we stand for, that the country stood for, and they're running for offices and they're in positions to make the difference, and then the wholesome and the godly people and people who want to have just, want to have good relations one with the other, everybody enjoying each other, when those people disappear, they're not a part of the PTA, Parent Teachers Organization, PTO, or Parent Teachers Association, or Parent Teachers Organization. When they're not a part of other civil organizations and meetings, then that means that somebody else has got to fill that void with their thing, with these things that are inconsistent with our fundamental beliefs, with our core beliefs. And one of those was godliness in the school, prayer, pledge allegiance, etc.
Maybe I'm overstepping my boundaries here, but I can recall a friend of mine said his daughter moved to Miami. She graduated from college. She moved to Miami. Job moved her down there. And along with doing her job, when she got off from work on her spare time, she had to learn Spanish.
Right.
So if we go where they speak Spanish out of country, they don't change for us. Maybe I'm going about this the wrong way, but what I'm saying is America still is a great nation.
Right.
And it would be greater with Christ. And the reason I say they would be greater with Christ, because he's love.
Right.
You can't be in Christ and not have love. That's what he's all about.
And I believe the Bible clearly tells us, blessed is the nation whose God is what? Is Lord, is the Lord.
Yes.
And the more we hold true to that, and I tell you what, when that begins to disappear, when godliness begins to disappear from the infrastructure, from the fabric of the United States of America, because the people of God refuse to stand up and take a position, then that means that we're going to lose out on those things that are of God, which means the absence of God means the presence of other things that are inconsistent with godliness. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Hey, look, we'd like to hear from you out there. We're at 478-250-1444. Again, 478-250-1444. And we're asking the question today, is the United States of America a great nation? Is it one that you believe that it is a great nation as a matter of being a citizen of the United States? And if it's not a great nation, then what is, or where is a nation that is greater than what the United States offers? Hey, look, I'll tell you this, Reverend. We have a fence, but I noticed that no one's trying to get out of the United States. We have a fence to prevent people, and I use that proverbial fence to prevent people from coming in, especially illegally.
Mm-hmm.
But there are a lot of folks who make the claim that the United States is not this and it's not that, and I notice that many of them, perhaps, I wonder what their alternatives are. If there are some alternatives, I would like to hear about it today if anybody has any. But I believe that we have a pretty decent system, local, national. I also believe, though, that when the people choose not to objectively be a part of the good, and you mentioned it, the good and the godliness in the system, then the United States will see a deterioration. And we see that. I mean, it's disappointing when we witness last week, a kid bringing a weapon to school, and I don't know the full story, so I'll be careful. But the incident that took place in Warner Robins at high school there, that's disappointing when we hear about that in the United States, and we hear about other things. And we also there are people who are perhaps are having difficult times and perhaps don't know where to go or what to do there. The good thing about the United States is that there are so many different places to receive help. But the bedrock, what do you think? What is the bedrock? And I have in the back of my mind, the bedrock of the United States. What organization do you believe, hint, what organization do you believe that I believe that has the difference to be the light in the United States to continue to shine this in? Are we effective in the United States?
That's a good question, and I believe.
And I'm talking about the church.
Church, yeah, I'm going to say you took words out of my mouth, and that's why I said what I said, because in order for the United States to be better, and they are a great nation, I agree with that. You have to have some Christ in it. You got to have God in it. If there ain't no God, excuse my English, if there isn't any God in it, I don't believe it's worthwhile having. I mean, we have people come in all the time out of the country, from other countries. And if they come in the proper way, we got avenues where you can come in this country. But from my understanding, I think we're not utilizing it right, or they not utilizing it right to come in legally. That's the whole thing. And I don't have a problem with nobody, because America is made up of immigrants.
Okay.
United States of America is a great country, a great nation, and it's made up of a lot of different people. Some people say it's a melting pot of the world.
It is. And that's true. Now I want to underscore there's not the United States of America is that melting pot. However, and we love our immigrants.
Yes.
But let me underscore, I believe we should say we love our legal immigrants.
Yes, that's what I should have said in the beginning.
Legal immigration, we can't have, because when we lose, and the rule of law doesn't mean anything anymore in the United States of America, then I don't think we have a government. Then we don't have a country. When individuals, it's called anarchy.
Yes.
When you can do whatever you want to do to whomever you want to do, and there are no rules of conscience, of engagement, then I think that we're in trouble. So we have rules and we have laws, and I don't think those laws are so debilitating that they're bad. I mean, the laws are helpful. You come into the United States the right way, you go through the door, you get your checks and balances, you get your stamp of approval, and then you come through. If you don't, you go back and you try it again. But coming through illegally sets the precedent of a problem, and those are the things we've had problems with that, and that's I don't think that builds the greatness in the nation, and it sets up animosity between the citizens. What do you think?
I agree. So one of the biggest problems I see as far as people coming in the United States are the ones that coming in illegal know they're wrong in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
They come in and they don't be productive. Everybody's entitled to a change, but I think a lot of times that we can't see the forest for the tree. You got one or two bad apples in the barrel, and we see all of them bad because one or two.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree with you. We need to make sure we have the checks and balances to make sure that we're not bringing in terrorists or whatever, this negative people. But it's going to be hard to do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's become hard to do, but, here again.
Well,
if you've never been outside the United States, you might not agree with us.
Yeah, you know what? I've often said that I wish that I could grab a couple of C5s. A C5 is the largest military transport, U.S. military transport aircraft that we have. I wish that I could fly, especially those who believe that there's something better out there. Let them fly them to a certain place and let them see what it's like to live in other countries in certain places, and ask them after it's all over if I could, we'll leave you with a little bit of change and say, now you get a choice. Do you want to stay here in the United States, or do you want to stay here in this other country?
Now, we talked about is the United States a great nation.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about why we think.
And that was my question. Let's go back and forth with this.
Yeah.
Let's talk, what is it that makes America great?
I say opportunity.
All right, let's jot that down. Everybody, opportunity. Expound on that a little bit.
Well, you got an opportunity in the United States. If you don't have a job and some children, the government will give you subsidized whatever, housing, food, or whatever. Some of these other countries, what you don't have, you ain't gonna have.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen, when I was in the military, I used to take my C rations and give them to the kids because they be hollering food, and I saw how they lived, and some of them don't even know what electricity is. They so young and they live out in the boonies and in the woods and stuff, and the only thing they know is survival by any means necessary. They have to learn. If you don't learn quick, you don't last.
Right.
And opportunity in the United States is totally different. If you don't have, unless you have some disability, you can get help.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you got a disability problem, you can get some help. But you just can't over that. I mean, ain't no food stamp program, ain't no
Well, let me just say with that and toward that end, and I'm going to give my another point coming my way. I'm going. What if I'm going to say opportunity is one, but along with an opportunity, I'll say there are three groups of people I believe that we can look after in the United States. Everybody else needs to figure this out, but there are three groups of people: the disabled, the elderly, and babies.
Yes.
To me, those are three groups of people that I believe that we just, as a result of being the most powerful nation in the world, that we need to figure out how to support those groups. But everybody else, I believe we need to ensure that there's an understanding that you have a responsibility to yourselves and your family to get out and try to figure out how to make the difference. And so again, we're talking about now what things make America great right now. What is it that makes everything great? And we have Pastor Dunning that slipped in on us, and we're going to bring him in to the good fight today also. While he's thinking of that, what is it that makes America great? And if someone wants to, you can say, well, I don't think America's great as a result of this. You can call in and let us know at 478-250-1444. While he's coming up with his, I'm going to say conscious of mind. And when I say conscious of mind, I'm saying in the United States of America, you can, for the most part, say whatever you want to say, however you want to say it, without somebody else coming to pick you up in a black car, wheeling you off downtown to never be seen again. As long as you don't say anything that's going to infringe against somebody else's harm or cause harm to somebody else, you can, for the most, and even some people can tell, you don't have to, you can tell an untruth, and you have the right to do so. But in the United States, you can say whatever you want to say. And you can say it about the president, whether you like him or don't like him, about you can even talk about your pastor. He might not like it, but you can talk about it. You're free to do it. So conscious of mind is a big deal because you can't do this everywhere in the world. So So what is it? What is it about? What makes America great, Pastor Don?
I'd be happy to answer that, but first I want to apologize. I did attend the services for Lady Martha Smith, and then I got coerced to go to the cemetery and then forward. But I just said I put my word out. What makes us great is to say something, gonna do it. I said, well, it's 20 minutes, but I'm gonna do what I can. But I'm glad to be here. I always enjoy this session with these brothers. Now, I'm gonna give you my biblical answer. I'm gonna give you my hard answer. Biblical answer is righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. What makes a nation great is when they are living righteously, and if they are not, then they're under the influence of sin. Now, there are many things that makes us great because I would say we care one for the other. By this shall all men know that you're my disciple if you have love one to the other. What makes us great is showing compassion one toward the other. Most of the time in Jesus Christ, in his experience when people were sick or needed healing, needed a miracle, the text would always say he showed compassion. We don't live in a world, especially America, where we show that. If we're up a different political place or ideology, we just don't think that much of that person. They could be nice, they just happen to be another political party. But what makes us great, number one, we're righteous. Number two, we show love one toward the other. And loving somebody don't mean you agree on everything.
Right.
Most of the time, we don't talk about what we agree on. We just talk about what we disagree. And that's what makes it. So if you want to make America great, love God and love your people.
Well, I tell you what, let me pull a couple of things about that, because you brought in and you came in full force from a memorial, came in ready to go.
Okay.
Let me see you benevolence. I think that's what I took out of that. One of the greatest things about, and I will say this is true, Americans are known as some of the most benevolent people in the world. Charity is big to the United States. For whatever reason,
Mhm.
people do give in the United States.
Yes, sir.
There are two things we give. In the military, we give our blood. Our blood is in almost every country or in many countries throughout the world. There we are. You can find American blood over in Normandy, on the battlefield in Normandy. You can find American blood over in other countries throughout the world with American cemeteries. You can find our money.
That's right.
Our money is given to so many different countries to promote democracy throughout the world and to provoke calmness, because we know that we can't have everything in the United States while the rest of the world is suffering.
Yes.
So that's benevolence. So I take that out of what you were saying. So one of the greatness of America is that Americans give. And that is a truism. I've seen it with my eyes. We know that in COVID, America was giving money to others, and we know that we're giving money. We know that there's a crisis in one of the African nations, Ebola, giving, and so America is one of the greatest things about the United States is giving, and it is consistent with our biblical worldview.
That's right. That's right.
Right. We're coming back around. You got anything else? What else about the United States that makes people want to even come into the country illegally, or people who want to do so legally? What makes people want to come to the United States so badly that they're willing to almost try anything?
Break the law, yeah.
Yeah. What do you think?
Well, I've talked to some people that say freedom.
Freedom. Well, it's a big one.
And like I said, I mentioned earlier, opportunities to better their lives, to better their families, to even worship the way they want to worship.
I think
some countries you don't have that opportunity. You do what they say do, you worship the way they say worship, or else doom and gloom.
That freedom is a big deal, and it's probably at the very top. If it's not number one, it's number two. It's at the very top. Having the ability to do what you want to do, when you want to do it, wherever you want to do it, worship wherever you want. If I want Kentucky Fried Chicken today and want Popeyes tomorrow, I can do so. And I've got multiple choices to do so.
That's right.
And if I don't enjoy this place, I can go to that place. So the freedom to do whatever I want to do. And God also gives us the freedom, and we get to make choices. So we've got several things. We talked about opportunity, conscience of mind. We've talked about benevolence, the giving nation. We're talking about a nation that allows us to agree or disagree without anarchy, harming each other. And then we just talked about freedom. What else is on your mind?
I was going to say just looking at it from history, just the fact that, those founding fathers knew what they were doing, because they didn't want to live under king anymore, someone who had an iron fist over them. So I would say the Constitution of the United States, and then to have it amended, to have the amendment to the Constitution. When you look at some specifics there, man, the first one was freedom of speech, freedom to gather, freedom to assembly, and then you all go all the way down the line. The Constitution was powerful in its day, but there have been so many extra amendments, Bill of Rights, that made us a great country. If we live by the Bible, if we live by the Constitution, if we live by all those amendments, that would be a great country.
I think so. Hey, look, if anybody disagrees or agrees, we'd love to hear from you again. 478-250-1444. And we expressed that initially when we were saying what makes us great. I think our constitutions. Now, the founding fathers, we talked about them. Now, we admit there were some founding fathers who, on the one hand, said that all men are created equal. But we knew that when they went home that evening, somebody else, it was called ownership, that everybody didn't have the rights. But you mentioned the correction. The correction to that was the 13th Amendment to the Constitution that corrected that. And I say our amendments have corrected
That's right.
Those things. And so we have some people who still are not satisfied with that. And I think it's enough. So all of these things have done so that we can be the one nation drawing the one line in the sand, daring anybody to declare that the United States is something that it's not. It's a great nation.
Yes.
Now, look, brothers, we can transition this conversation. I think if we're not careful, we're going to lose it. Anybody heard about socialism or communism lately? Have you heard about people talking about they're not happy with our system of governance? So they're talking about we want the government to take control. Now, that's socialism. Socialism hasn't worked anywhere. I believe we discussed it once upon a time. Socialism is where for the most part the government is taking leadership in the industry and making those things. So individual ownership is begins to deteriorate, and we want the government to do things. Well, the government can't do things the way private business can do. Anybody heard of SpaceX? Anybody heard of maybe Facebook? Anybody heard of maybe Procter and Gamble? Anybody heard of any of those companies? That's what makes America great. It's these individual companies, people with great ideas, and do greatness for America. What do you say?
The fact that we are allowing individuals to make up their mind, and everybody's not going to agree with you. It just means you have the right to be different, right to be speak your mind. And I don't know. Sometimes I wonder about our country, where we're headed. But we I do believe this now, General. We have an optimistic future if we all get in line with what we believe the words say, and we believe what our laws say, and we can all live together in harmony. That means we're going to agree on everything. There will always be differences of opinion. But the sweet thing is the Bible and the Constitution make it all that possible.
I agree. So I think we've actually we're congruent in one, especially in one of our main efforts, and that is that we believe that when God says, "Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord,"
yes,
we believe that with God, the United States can continue to be a successful nation. That's what I'm hearing from both of you, and I believe that myself. What happens when godliness slowly? Now we notice that church attendance among Americans have decreased. You do know that, right?
Yes, sir.
So what is the message that we have in the church, or what is our message going forward to maintain the greatness that we have?
I believe it's the Lord, because the Bible says when he's, and I'm talking basically about the church. So if you're talking about the Lord and the church, is the same in my book. He says, upon this rock, I'll build my church, right? So if we stand on that rock, and y'all know who that rock is, we'll last. I mean, because he's telling us this. Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
So that's the key, because like I was talking about prayer in school. I'm a strong believer. When we took that out of school, we let the devil in, and that's just me. And like I said, if we rely on the Bible, 10 Commandments, the Lord, and the Constitution all together, it'll be a big star in the sky over the United States of America, symbolizing greatness, love, peace, and joy. See, that's the key. We got to have all of that to be great.
But Brother Hamilton, what messes us up is all that good stuff you're saying, and we love to talk about how different we are. Black versus white, conservative versus liberalism, Democrat versus Republican. Couldn't you just talk about what you agree on?
Yeah, that's what the
but
more.
What do we agree upon?
Well, I think we have statutory agreements that were given to us. You mentioned it already. It's called the Constitution,
right?
And then we have the Bible. So we already have. So can we just start right there?
Start with
it. Can we? So we have an agreement. Let's just start right there, especially the church. And if the church would just remain the beacon of light there, and push that from the church, I believe that that there are enough Christians to make the difference. What do you think? I
We're
just happen to
supposed to. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. We're supposed to be like a city sitting on a hill.
Mhm.
We're supposed to be a light that shines. We are supposed to be a salt of the earth. All those are metaphors of what the church ought to be.
Amen.
I'm going to pick up on the salt of the earth. Now, in biblical time, they had no refrigerator. They had no freezer. In order to keep meat from spoiling, they had to do
So,
salt.
Mhm.
And if the meat did not touch salt in a warm climate, the meat will spoil. And God is expecting the church to be the salt of the earth.
Mhm.
And if the church should leave, the earth gonna spoil. We just better be salty
Mhm.
and get the word out. Everybody haven't heard that Jesus Christ. Everybody ain't heard there's a greater day coming. But I like the songwriter. I'm just a nobody trying to tell everybody about somebody who can save anybody. I think if we spend more time putting the word out how great Jesus is,
I think so.
I think we'll have a better country, a better city, a better government, a greater future.
Yeah, I agree. I think
I agree.
I think he just said to those listeners that we aren't salty enough. We need to do some more shaking. The church needs to be a little bit more salty, and we can be the ones that continue to round out the United States
right.
to ensure that it remains the nation that it was intended to be, with Christian Judeo principles, with the God understanding that God is the head and is our focal point in the United States of America. Let me tell you something. This weekend, I had the opportunity to Saturday. I had you can call it the opportunity, or the unfortunate opportunity, call it whichever you so, to visit with the memorial. There's a big memorial for the first 6 soldiers who were killed in the Iran attack on Shuaibah, which is on the coast of the Strait of Persia, of the Persian Gulf. And I participated, as did several of the former generals of this command. I once commanded this unit, and I would tell you, I was watching how, and I call it how America showcased this and did a great memorial. And that's what we believe in the military anyway, never leave a soldier behind. But the way that we did that and represented that to make those families feel that we know that we can't do a whole lot about the family members gone.
Correct.
But they played the ultimate sacrifice.
That's right.
Well, that ultimate sacrifice is what is another part that keeps America, America. And how we respect our loved ones and those who served in the military and like that, and those, of course, who lost their lives while in service. So it's just representative of what we are. And another idea why America, United States of America, is the greatest nation in the world. And we want it to remain.
Yes.
In the last 2 minutes, answer that question. What else can we do? Briefly, what else can we do to ensure that America remains the greatest nation in the world? What you got, Reverend Hamilton?
Danny answered that question right now. My mind is churning because I believe, like I said, if we got the opportunity, we can do everything. First, you got to have the opportunity to make any changes, period. So I strongly believe in opportunity in America. You have that opportunity because I've been to other countries and they don't.
Yeah.
Ain't no such thing.
Okay, opportunity.
If my people who shall call by my name would humble themselves, seek my faith, turn from their evil way, then I will hear from heaven. I will forgive that sin and heal that land. America needs healing, but we got to do the humbling, turn from evil ways, and pray.
That's a very good way to end this session. I tell you what, he had Second Chronicles 7.
That's right,
Yeah,
7:14.
7:14. Yeah, I tell you what, that's a great way to
Thank
end.
you for joining the Issues of Life broadcast with your host, Evelyn Reid. Be sure to tune in every Tuesday from 4:15 to 4:45 p.m. as she addresses the health, religious, and political issues that our communities face daily, right here on the Glory 107.9 FM, 980 AM, WDDO.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but